This is the Retirement Bullpen with Richard Warner. The team at Warner Financial Solutions want to help you feel confident about your retirement, no matter where you stand. Get more at warnerfinancialsolutions.com. Now, the Retirement Bullpen.
Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome back into the Retirement Bullpen. And no, we're not sitting here cracking sunflower seeds or making glasses out of styrofoam cups in our eyes like you've seen in other low-performing bullpens. This is a high-performance bullpen, and the Retirement Bullpen hosted by Richard Warner, Retirement Income Certified Professional of his firm, Warner Financial Solutions, outside of the greater Omaha area, basically, is what it covers. WarnerFinancialSolutions.com is where you can find Richard and the team, and, of course, hit them up on Facebook and Instagram, too, and dial them up, too, 402-274-9185. Richard, great to have you back in and be back in the studio with you today, and Happy New Year to you. How you doing?
I'm great, Doug. Happy New Year to you as well. It's great to be back. It's freezing cold right now, but hey, that happens this time of year in Nebraska, right?
That's for sure. And we're recording on January 15th. All right. So what's the thermometer say in Omaha?
It's in the 20s right now, but it's supposed to get closer to 30 today. We got a couple of days of 40s coming, which is really nice this time of year, but we've had some teens the last few days. So yesterday was frigid.
Ooh, break out the Hawaiian shirts for 40 degrees. Yeah,
maybe.
Atlanta got the winter weather brush back last week, and then we have some more potentially coming up in a few days. So we haven't had it was our first measurable snowfall in over 6 years that we had very recently. So yeah, it's a little different world here in Georgia, but we're feeling some of the same bite. And it's been busier than normal to start the year at Warner Financial Solutions, you tell me.
Yes, we have been busier. I think the stability of interest rates perceiving into next year, where a lot of people thought interest rates might drop this coming year, has created some opportunity for some clients to make some adjustments in a positive way for them, which a lot of times in January, we're just talking on the phone to clients, answering questions for them, starting to meet new clients a little bit later in the month, but it's ramped up. It started December 30th. I mean, even before the new year, it got busy. Wow. So, yeah.
That's a little interesting trying to plan around the holidays, Christmas and New Year's being right in the middle of the week. You know, how much time do you take before and after? A lot of people just take the whole week off, but it was a little strange like that around here in our place. Did you just shut the place down for 2 weeks? Well, I guess not, because you had clients December 30th.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't necessarily have somebody in here all the time, but we saw some clients over that time. So not as much as you would during a typical week.
Yeah.
You know? But it's just not a lot of people, especially the Christmas week, that really want to take that time, which I can understand that. You know, I can understand that. There's just a lot of things going on and a lot of things to prepare for, and some people do a lot of traveling that time of year. So,
oh yeah. Oh, most certainly. And we're going to seek right into retirement talk here, because that's definitely the wheelhouse for us here on the Retirement Bullpen. And in our previous episodes, we talked about having enough money to retire and discovering unexpected savings and costs in your retirement planning. We're going to keep that retirement planning mode over our next two episodes. Today, we're going to discuss healthcare costs in retirement. And I know there are a lot of important questions people ask, Richard, and I bet too, when people are doing budgeting with you, especially when they haven't had health problems yet, then their late 50s, early 60s, healthcare may not even be top of mind to a prospective retiree.
You know, you would think that, but a lot of people are, even really, really healthy ones, ask questions about it. One thing I believe that's unique about what we do that a lot of retirement planners, a lot of money managers, a lot of financial advisors in general don't do is we help people understand their healthcare options, and even in some aspects help them with their healthcare options, specifically when they get to Medicare. But healthcare is something you need to plan for. And what most people think of when you think of healthcare and planning for healthcare is not necessarily everything there is. Let me explain what I mean by that. So a lot of people obviously get, hey, I take some medications. What's my plan going to do to cover that? If I go to the hospital, what's my plan going to do to cover that? But a lot of people don't want to plan for that thing, that event that nobody wants to participate in, and that's confinement. If you would end up in an assisted living, if you would end up in a long-term care facility, and not that everybody does, but statistically, more people than not are going to have some experience with it. And so you need to prepare from a planning standpoint of how you're going to pay for that, and just consider that in the whole grand scheme of things. So, but the bigger one is the healthcare side, the health insurance side, and those types of things. What do I do with my group plan? Do I have a group option? What do I do with Medicare when I get to that point, and so forth?
And I know everybody's situation's different, but how do people plan for this? And what are some of those costs, I guess, as people start to see them ramp up and as they become eligible for Medicare?
Yeah, so costs are going to be hard to discuss in this kind of setting simply because there's just so many variables. I mean, So for example, if you start with the most expensive healthcare line item, that's long-term care. So somebody who is confined for a lengthy period of time because of dementia or something to that effect, I mean, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for a decade or more statistically. It's a lot of money. Now, most people aren't confined for that long, though. This average would be, about a 1.5 year and a half to 2 year stay in a long-term care facility. As far as Medicare goes, Medicare is going to charge you a premium. Most people think Medicare is free. So when you get to 65, you're going to pay a Medicare premium. It's going to get taken off your Social Security check. You're going to either want an Advantage plan or a supplement and a drug plan to go along with that. The average couple, if they go the Medicare and supplement route, are going to spend, probably around $300 a month for a drug plan and a supplement and Medicare Part B. Average numbers. Obviously, there's factors. If you make a lot of money, if you have a high income, Medicare is going to charge you a higher Part B premium. A lot of people aren't aware of that. So you've got to figure that out in this analysis is what is my income look like in retirement and what's my tax bracket look like and what's that going to do to my Medicare premiums? So Medicare premiums can range from 100 and something a month to 400 and something a month, depending upon your income level. Now, obviously, the higher is much, much higher income levels, but it doesn't take a lot to get out of that 100 into the 250 to 300 bracket for paying for your Part B. And when you get a Part B jump, that's not just for you, that's for you and your spouse. So drug copays are also something to consider because a lot of people think, well, I have Medicare, I have a supplement, everything is going to be covered. It's not the case. You're going to go to a pharmacy, they're going to charge you a copay based on what pharmacy you go to, what medication you take. There's a lot to it. There really is. It's really hard to say, hey, this is what your cost is going to be because I have some people that hardly have any healthcare costs, and I have some people that have lots and lots of healthcare costs. And it's really based on their specific situation and what they have when they're going into retirement as an option.
Yeah, well, and I know there's so many variables there. And then how do you help people plan for them, whether it's somebody that is the cleanest bill of health and will have no long-term care planning, although we can never guarantee that. But, how do you go from the smallest healthcare cost to planning for the biggest ones? And people have to start early with that, I know, in the retirement process.
Yeah, that's a tough one, too. A lot of people want to plan on based what their parents or siblings have maybe experienced because they think maybe they're going to have similar genetics. I'll use a really quick example to explain how it can be so difficult is my dad. I think I can talk about my dad freely here. I've used him as an example to many people who are looking at Medicare.
Yeah.
My dad enrolled in Medicare. I think he's now 72, 73. I wish I keep track of this stuff better, but it's been about 6, 7, 8 years ago. He's been on Medicare for a while now. And he was the type of guy that he had been to the hospital 3 times in his life. One for a vehicle accident. He was in and out the same night. 20 some years old, he had his appendix removed and he was born. Those are the 3 times he was in the hospital. Once he hit Medicare, it's like his body knew, oh, I've got insurance to pay. Well, he had insurance before, but I've got really good insurance to pay for this stuff. And he's had, I don't want to get into privacy stuff here, but he's had a lot of stuff happen.
Yeah, that were unpredicted based on his track record. Yeah.
Yeah, it's completely, now, I'm not saying he's unhealthy because he's not, but he also had a very physical lifestyle in construction, remodeling, farming, and he kind of wore his body down. So, joint replacements, things like this, they're not cheap. So how do you plan for it? You have to plan for it, in my opinion, based on what your comfortability is from a protection standpoint. And what I mean by that is there are plans designed for healthier people in Medicare. Those may be options you have if you have a group option as well. There's lesser plans and greater plans and group benefits in a lot of situations. If you think you're somebody that's probably not going to spend a lot of money at the doctor or hospital, then you can choose those options. If you're not sure, you may want to lean towards more protection because let's be honest, we were made to not last forever. We wear down. We have stuff happen. we break down and we need care, and care is getting more and more and more and more and more expensive. I can't stress that enough. And so you're better off if you can pay a little bit, in my opinion, over time in case something big does happen, because odds will have it you're probably going to have some kind of a big event, even if it's just a couple of knee replacements. Those,
Yeah.
I mean, right now, those are 6 figures plus to have both your knees replaced. So you don't want to pay that ticket on your own. So I hope that explains, but it's really a one-on-one conversation you need to have with each individual and get a feel for where they think they're going. But unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I did.
But it's something that nonetheless people need to plan for. It's not just, it's just like not planning for this and just hoping to live off the drip of the money is going to be the same as if you're like, oh, I've got Social Security, I'll be fine in retirement. It's like, hold on a minute. Are you really only going to live off that little amount per month? So you mentioned paying a little bit over time and in anticipation of something like that. Is that something that people take care of, like by having an annuity per se, or is that by a particular insurance plan?
So it could be all of the above, Doug. And there's annuities with benefits like that. There's long-term care insurance. There's life insurance. There's just simple health insurance programs typically go along with Medicare that will help pay for some of these things as well. It just depends upon a person's situations. Obviously, the more you have, the more you may want to protect. The less you have, well, number one, the less you can afford to spend on protection, but the less reason you have as well. It's no different than the principle of if I own a little 1-bedroom shack, I'm not going to have $1 million, $2 million worth of property and casualty insurance if the thing burns down.
Right.
I'm going to have a policy designed to protect it.
Gotcha.
Well, the same principle applies for my financial situation. If I have rental properties or farmland, or I have lots of assets in retirement plans or savings or investments or those types of things, do I want those going to healthcare costs? Probably not. Some people have so much that it doesn't matter, but most of us are somewhere in the middle where if we just took a tiny little bit of that and used that to protect the rest of it, it could make a huge difference in the grand scheme of your retirement plan and creating some predictability down the road. So if, worst case does happen, you're not in such a bad spot and it doesn't eat away at a bunch of your assets. And this is something we can help you evaluate in the office, over the phone, Zoom call, whatever's convenient, in your home, whatever's convenient. This is part of the process of transition to retirement, is understanding the healthcare cost side of it, understanding what your risks are, what your potential costs are, and creating a plan to make that all work together with everything else.
Well, and that's a great way to maybe put a pin in that discussion there. So there could be all sorts of out-of-pocket costs. There could be things insurance covers. There are different Medicare premium levels. And I know depending on those also depend on your Social Security level, your income tax bracket, and so much. Besides just healthcare in general, just real quickly here to help in the discussion, what else does Warner Financial Solutions help someone that's on the brink of retirement or inside of it walk through, outside of the health discussion?
Right. Well, great question, Doug. So obviously healthcare costs is one of the things. So we want to help you understand what your costs are, your Social Security, your savings, the retirement accounts you have, the income producing assets you have, depending upon what your situation is. And we want to help you create a picture of how do we take that money, how do we take those assets and create a predictable income stream? You're stepping across a imaginary line, we'll call it, from I'm working and generating income, this is going away, or at least a lot of it's going away. I've got to take what I've saved, I've got to take these assets, and I've got to create predictability of income for the rest of my life, when my ability to earn is probably going to decrease as I get older. And so I've got to make sure I don't run out of money. So money management, getting the most out of Social Security, tax planning can come in. We're not tax advisors. We don't do people's taxes, but we can help you understand what are the tax consequences of different accounts thus far, so you get the most out of your money.
And get the most out of it. And hey, if you're getting the most out of it and all those other cylinders in your V8, then hopefully the one that's your healthcare cylinder is going to be performing well too. You need that stuff to help feed the other. Well, of course, you've got a newsletter. There's this podcast here. You can find it all on WarnerFinancialSolutions.com. And this podcast also available on Apple and Spotify. Turn on the notifications, subscribe to it so you know when we have these episodes coming out, which are roughly every 2 weeks. And Richard, I appreciate you spending the time, sir.
Hey, it's been great, Doug. Happy New Year.
been great for us too. Happy New Year to you too. Thank you everyone for listening, and thanks to our producer Brandon Benefield for getting this thing published. You probably have all sorts of questions now about your healthcare costs and how to budget for them. Start that first appointment there. Schedule a meeting, WarnerFinancialSolutions.com. You can find them on Facebook as well. I'm Doug. He's Richard Warner, the Retirement Income Certified Professional at Warner Financial Solutions, and this has been the Retirement Bullpen. Thank you everybody for listening.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Warner Financial. Warner Financial is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Warner Financial are not subject to investment advisory requirements. NPN number 7617022. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be considered as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. Warner Financial is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Warner Financial.